by.
Okay.
And we've been joined by UCF coach George O'Leary. The Knights are 8-1 overall, 5-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Last week, UCF was a 39-36 winner at Temple this past Saturday. This week is a short week for UCF. They play Thursday night against Rutgers at Bright House Network Stadium, 7:30 Eastern Time start on ESPN. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call this week, particularly in a short week. If you would take a minute to tie up the exciting win at Temple and tell us what you expect to see Thursday night in prime time on ESPN.
Well, it was a great college game, and I think my hat's off to Temple for the game they played, and it came down to really 19 seconds in the game and a couple of good throws and really an outstanding catch in the end zone that most of the stations were showing a lot of, and then a field goal with really 2 seconds left on the clock, and that was the difference in the game. But again, it's something I said every week to our players. I see Temple each week steadily improving, and kids are taking coaching. I think they're a very well-coached team, and it was a good ball game, and we're happy to come home with a win.
Coach, you mentioned earlier in the call that J.J. Wharton is the conference offensive player of the week. Could you just give us a few words about his performance?
Right. Well, he had 10 catches, I think, for 150-some yards or 179 yards, something like that. But the last catch he made, I thought he had one right before that for a touchdown. But the one that was in the end zone was just a great catch. And he's one. We had a couple of receivers down in that game, and both him and Hall, had great games, and obviously I thought Balls delivered the ball there. But I think J.J. helps us on special teams, so he's an all-around player, as far as getting things done, and he's a return guy on punt returns. But he had a very good game and a lot of yards in the passing game, and a lot of yards after the catch, which I think is very important.
Take questions for Coach George O'Leary, please. Hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you. Again, *1 for questions for Coach O'Leary, please.
And we'll hear from Joey Johnston with Tampa Tribune.
Yeah, Coach, you've had a number of teams over the years, but does this one have some type of special quality or something that's kind of even beyond the talent that you have? I mean, you win these close games. You obviously have a kind of a magical season. Is there something a little intangible going on with the team?
No. After the game, I told them when they go to church, sit in the first pew. I think that someone's looking out for them. But I keep telling the players that you play a 60-minute game and you keep playing with effort. Eventually, some good things will happen for you, and then you take advantage, because football is such a momentum game anyway. And I think you need to see good things happen. There's so many front runners playing the game today, and you got to have some good things happen on that sideline. You just got to keep pressing with good effort and talk that way, as far as making sure they understand those type of things. That hey, don't worry about the setback, worry about the next play. And this team totally believes that and works that. And we've kept some of these games a little closer than we should have, in my opinion. But the end result is, as I tell them, bad football teams lose games like that, and average teams find a way to lose it, and good teams find a way to win, and that's what separates tight ball games usually.
Speaking of momentum, to have a season like this at this time with your team going into this new conference, can you just talk about how important this is to have a season like this as you kind of enter this new era?
Well, I tell you what, I think the American Conference, when you look at the teams that came over from Conference USA, I think they're doing fairly well for themselves, the new teams that came into the American Conference. And I think it's good to go into the conference the first time and continue to do well each and every weekend. But I think it's a very competitive conference, and I think you guys show up with the A game each weekend, and I think the American Conference, when they settle down and get everybody where they need to be in the conference, I think it'll be a very, very competitive conference and one that's fun to watch as far as games are concerned.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to John Mitchell with Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Coach, can you just revisit last week's game? Can you talk about, can I get your impressions on P.J. Walker and the improvement you see in the Temple football?
Well, I saw him come in during mid-season there, and they've done nothing but gotten better with him at the helm because he can do so many things with the ball, and he did against us, whether he's running or throwing, and he just puts another back in that backfield that you have to worry about on defense, and again, he's throwing the ball where it needs to be thrown, and I think that he's just a tremendous athlete with some really good players around him that they're getting the ball to those guys and making some hay on offense, and defensively you got to beat them. They don't beat themselves, and I think that in my opinion, you can see a lot of really good coaching going on as far as the Temple, as far as if you break it down from each game and continue on, and obviously with the new kid at quarterback there, they've become a real potent offense as far as being able to put that ball in the end zone, whether on the ground or in the air, and he has a lot to do with that.
One more, Coach. How important is that progress that they're making? It hasn't translated to victories, but the
but it's going. As I told Matt after the game, I said, "Hey, keep plugging away. Good things are going to happen." I said, "You got the kids playing with great effort. That's half the battle," and he knows that. I think it's when you don't win, and all of a sudden they start pointing fingers at each other, and when it happens, it's going to happen in bunches for Temple, I think, and because I think they've built a great foundation. All right, they've been in a bunch of games that could have went either way for them. All right. And those wins are going to come. They stick together. They play with great effort, and they continue with the coaching they've got. I think that he has the foundation now. He's going to build on that, and I think they're going to be a really good football team.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
And do we have any other questions for Coach O'Leary, please? And, Coach, thanks for your time this week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you.
And that is UCF against Rutgers at White House Network Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.